One of the problems for many people trying to learn English is they don't get enough input. They don't have a chance to listen to English in real life situations and understand how it is usually spoken. Think about it like this. If you just study English in a classroom, your input might only be about 10 hours a week, and it's just going to be a simple version of English, not the same kind of English used in the real world. And then, when you leave the classroom, you might not listen to that much English, maybe none at all. Having more real-life input will help you to make progress quicker. Have you got a friend who's gone to study English in an English-speaking country? When they came back to your country, you might have noticed a big improvement in their English. When they speak, it seems to be a lot smoother, and they're using words or expressions that you've never heard of before. Now, you already know this. Go to an English-speaking country and your English will improve. But how does it improve? Well, your friend didn't improve because their language school in London or Sydney was so much better at teaching them the present simple or prepositions. No, it's because they were getting so much input. Every day they left their house, they were surrounded by English, on public transport, in shops, restaurants, bars and cafes, and of course, at their language schools. They were spoken to in English, and to survive in that environment, they had to use their brain to understand what was happening around them and what people wanted from them. So your friend was getting so much input, and with more input, you can learn a language a lot quicker. How does input work? As we said before, input is hearing English words being spoken in real life. You hear the words and then you try to understand them. If you hear the word enough times, then you can remember it. But there are other things that can help you to understand and remember the words. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine you're eating dinner with someone who speaks Spanish. You can't speak Spanish, and they can't speak your language or any English at all. Suddenly, they stop eating and look at their food. Their face looks like they're unhappy about something. Then they say to you, "Puedes pasarme la sal?" And as they say this, they point at the salt that is close to you on the table. You might quickly realize that they are asking for the salt. You might not be 100% sure, so you point at the salt and they say, "Sí, sí, la sal, la sal." And then, at that moment, you know that salt in Spanish is la sal. And the first thing they said, "Puedes pasarme," probably means "give it to me," or something like that. Then later, their glass of water is empty, and they look at you again and look at the water next to you and say, "Puedes pasarme el agua?" And you quickly realize that they want the water, so you give it to them. You have heard them say, "Puedes pasarme la sal?" and "Puedes pasarme el agua?" And if you hear "Puedes pasarme" enough, you will remember it, and you can use it when you want a Spanish person to give you something. What's more, you might also remember what salt or water is in Spanish. So this is a really effective way to pick up a language. You listen to the words, use your eyes to see what's happening around you as the speaker is talking, and then your brain just starts to process everything. You're not going to learn the grammar rules of the language this way, but you will start to remember these words the more you hear them, and you'll be able to find the patterns in the language by yourself. So my video is going to use images from the real world, and I'm going to talk about what's happening in the images. You can look, listen, and then process the words that I'm using. I'm going to talk in a very natural way, like if I were talking to a native speaker, and hopefully this way you'll get some new vocabulary or expressions to use. Another thing is, you need to think about the situation. So the title of this video is called A Tour of My Neighbourhood. What is a tour? Well, It's when one person presents or shows a place to another person who has never been there before. So when I present the different places around my neighbourhood, I'm going to use certain expressions to do this. So watch, listen, and concentrate very hard, and then maybe you can understand what words you should use when giving a tour in English. The subtitles are going to stop soon. It will just be the images, the sound of the words, and of course, your very intelligent brains. Good luck. Welcome to my neighbourhood. Although it's close to the city centre, it's quite a residential area, not too many shops or office blocks. The first place I want to take you to is the fishing park. Oh, hello chickens. It's basically just a small lake where people come to hang out, drink some beers, and catch some fish. I don't know what they do with the fish once they've caught them. Maybe just throw them back into the lake or maybe take them home to eat. But this little dirt road cuts through to the other side of my neighbourhood. And on this side, there are a few low-rise apartment buildings away from the main road. On weekends and in the evenings, people like to sit outside and chat with their neighbours. It's a really laid-back place. Once we get closer to this big apartment building in the main road, then you start to see a few shops. At the moment, sadly, some of them have had to close down because of COVID-19, but most of them are closed now because it's a Sunday. This place does Thai massage, and it's not too expensive. And this is a little steak restaurant, Beat Steak. So once we get past this hair salon, we're at the main road. Usually there's a lot of traffic, but it's not too bad today because it's the weekend. So let's cross over the footbridge, which is going to take us to the busier side of where I live. Oh, I should say that they're building a SkyTrain along the road, and this is going to be a station in the future. So now we're entering a wet market. It sells a lot of fresh produce. Here's a big fruit stall with all kinds of fruit. And just before you get to the main section, there are a lot of shops that sell clothes and other things. Now, here we are at the main section. Not so many of the stalls are open today, but still, it's quite busy for a Sunday. There's a vegetable stall on the left, and over here is where they sell the meat. Once we get out of the wet market, there's a small night market that stays open until late. That's a pretty cool mural. So let's go in the night market and see what they've got. I just need to do the temperature check. Ooh, a bit high. Don't worry, I don't have COVID. So at the beginning here, they have a lot of little shops that sell clothes, toys, and other bits and pieces. What the hell is that? As we move on, there's a Buddhist shrine in the middle. Not so many shops are open today. And then we get to the food section. So this place sells fried chicken. And this place on the left sells daifuku. Do you know what that is? It's like a Japanese dessert, really good. So yeah, there's quite a lot of food around here. Over here are some bars, but they're all closed at the moment because the government doesn't allow the sale of alcohol. So let's start to head back to my house. This street here has a lot of street food and it's very popular. People come here to get their dinner in the evening and you can get all kinds of Thai food. This is durian, a famous fruit from Southeast Asia. Pretty crowded around here. Right now, mangoes are in season. So we're back at the main road now. There's a beauty salon on the left. This is my local bank, but of course it's closed today. So let's go back over to the other side of the road. And as we come down the steps, here's a school. And as we get closer to my house, you can see there's a few local shops around here. And another small market on the left. Apparently this is quite a famous snooker club, but it's closed at the moment because of COVID. So we're getting closer to my house now. My street is quite leafy. And look where we are, back at the fishing park. So, that's my neighbourhood. I hope you enjoyed the tour.